On my next video, I'm going to talk about, I'm going to do a follow-up on the last couple where I was talking about how life sucks and I was in a funk, and a couple people in the comments actually were like, so give me an update, how are things? I have a good video to follow up on that with, because I did something to shift it, and yeah, I'm in better spirits. I'll tell you about it in the next video. But what I wanted to do today was share a story. It was in the late 80s, early 90s. I was living in Sacramento, California, and I was working on a riverboat called the Matt McKinley. It was right there downtown on the boardwalk, and it was a paddle wheel riverboat, dinner boat, you know. And so I'd bar back and keep the boat clean. I'd stock the liquor, you know. I'd run stuff from the warehouse down to the dock, build things when they needed things built, run down with the crew to, you know, fuel the boat up. But I thought it was a very nice, exciting sort of an existence. It was very carefree, and I was on the river, you know, it was great. Well, I was still only making about I think I was making like 250 bucks a week. This was back in the day. It wasn't a lot of money. But we had to pick up our paychecks on Saturday, or wait till Monday. So I went over to the office, which was downtown. There was a little office right off the boardwalk there. And there was a video store right across the hall from the office. So while I was waiting for them to show up to get my check, I was watching a guy wash windows. And he's up on a ladder doing the squeegee thing. And like always, I just struck up a conversation with this guy, and I said, hey man, I said, how did you end up getting a job washing windows? And he was like, well, you get the stuff you need and you start washing windows. I didn't quite get it. And I said, well, how much money do you make doing that? And he goes, I don't know, $2,500, $3,000 a month. And when he said that, I was blown away. I'm like, you make $3 grand a month washing windows, dude? He goes, oh yeah, and I only work like 4 days a week. He goes, I don't even work that hard. I said, so tell me how it works. And he said, well, it's real easy. You buy the stuff you need squeegees, brushes, a bucket, extension poles, some razor blades, you know, some good soap, whatever. He kind of ran me through the stuff I needed. Box of, you know, get some new rags to work with and a good ladder. And then I said, well, how do you get your business? And he said, you go and you knock on their door and say, hey, you want your windows washed? And he says, if you get it, then you say, hey, you want me to come back every 2 weeks or every month? And you just build a little route and you just keep adding to it. And eventually you have all the work you want and you slow down and you stay comfortable. So, I was sitting there blown away at what this guy told me. And I just kept picking his brain about washing windows. And so what I ended up doing was I got my paycheck. And after I got my paycheck, I went straight to a warehouse for, you know, janitorial supplies. And I spent half my paycheck buying the stuff to wash windows. Now here's the amazing thing. I doubled my paycheck before dark. I was blown away. I was like, how did I just double my paycheck in just a few hours? So needless to say, I don't think I ever even went back to the riverboat. I think I worked there for another week and I quit. And I started hustling, working downtown, washing windows in donut shops, auto parts stores, restaurants was the thing I liked the best. And every time you go into the restaurant, you're like, hey, while I'm here, I've never eaten here. Can I get something off the menu? They feed you a meal every time you wash the windows. You make between, you know, 20, 30, 50, 100 bucks, depending on the job, you know. And you're making like 40 bucks an hour. And so what I started doing was I'd go out and knock on doors and I'd build up this account, and I would only put my returns on Monday. So pretty soon Monday was full, and if I got new business, then I'd add it up. If I'm gonna come back every 2 weeks, I'd add it on a Tuesday. And then a Wednesday. And it didn't take me more than a couple months, and I was making like $600 or $700 a week, working 3 days a week, washing windows downtown. And that wasn't even a full day. I was like, this is too good to be true. It's so easy. And no one had ever explained to me how simple it is to just provide a service and find customers and make more money than you would with a boss, or, you know, having an employer, a regular job, or get a real job, right? Screw a real job. You need money, and you get money by getting paid. You're gonna make more money getting paid by customers than by a boss. So that was a life-changing event for me, because after that, I always would explore things to see if I can make money working for myself. I would wash windows. I had a window tinting business. I bought a dump trucks and fixed driveways, which was quite lucrative in Oregon. But you know, you don't learn all your lessons at the same time. And right when things were really taking off, I had this idea that when I filled my week and I was working 5 days a week washing windows, I was going to hire somebody, give them that calendar and say, this is your route, give them half the money, and I was going to start filling up a whole nother book. And then I would work a month, and I got another guy working for me, paying me half the month's work. And I was gonna, when I filled up that calendar, I was gonna give it to a second employee. And then I'd start with an empty slate and I'd fill my calendar till I got a third book, and I'd hire a third. That was my plan. And instead, I was always a lead foot my entire life. I've been a car guy. And I had, at the time, I was driving an Olds Cutlass with a 455 and a 4-speed. And I was laying rubber all the time, and you know, drifting corners and whipping donuts and always just being a hooligan. And long story short, I lost my license in California and I had to leave. So I'm like, well, I can't stay in California, so I moved back to Oregon. Climate was different, city was different, market was different, the window washing thing flopped, and I had to start doing something else. But having that guy who was on that ladder washing windows at that video store just explained to me for 5 minutes how that worked. Changed my life. If I knew that guy, if I knew who he was, I would send him a check for $10,000. Just say thank you for opening my eyes, because that changed my whole life. He took something that was a big mystery and made it so simple, and which applied to everything else I did in my life. So whoever that guy is, thank you. But that's something that anybody who is young and ambitious can do. Find a need, provide a service, and stay busy, and don't be scared to sell it yourself, so you talk to people and you make money. And you're free. That was a game changer. And I just thought I'd share that with somebody. You may get nothing out of it. You may not have even gotten this far. But that was a good time in my life. I had a Volkswagen van with all my stuff in it. Hell, there were times I'd be driving and I'd run out of gas. I'd be like, oh my God, my tank's empty. I'd pull over, knock on a few doors. I'd have $100 in 45 minutes, fill my tank, hit the road. It was so cool, you know? And I got to where at certain points, instead of having change in my pockets, I had my ashtray shoved full of $10 bills and $20 bills. I had never had money before. You know, I was raised in I grew up in a single wide trailer with too many siblings crammed in a little box, raised by a 3-tour shitbag cop control freak. And, you know, I got off to a pretty bad start. But it's amazing, I never had a mentor. But one guy on a ladder washing windows told me something in 5 minutes, changed my whole life. Can't explain it. But I'm gonna get back with you. My next video is going to be on the project that lifted my spirits and got me out of my slump. It's gonna be kind of fun to do the video because the project's been great. So I'll talk with you soon. You guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe and share and all that stuff if you can. I'd like to get a number under my channel. Anyway, thanks a lot. Bye.